Hey, thanks so much for supporting our program. Wanted to do a geeky science for you today. I think this is absolutely fascinating, the relationship of using our muscles to how our fat cells respond to it. This is brand new science. In fact, it was just published in the Federation of American Societies for Experimental Biology journal in May of this year. And it's fascinating. It's about this little snippet of genetic material. It's a category of genetic material called microRNA, and this is called MIR1, or MIR1. And they've always known that MIR1 affects the ability of muscles to grow. It actually is present in muscles all the time, and what it does is it prevents them from growing, because we have to have brakes on growth in our system. Otherwise, when the brakes on growth go away, that leads, that's kind of what cancer is, although this has nothing to do with cancer. But the presence of MIR1 in our muscles slows them or stops them from growing. But after we exercise, they know that the MIR1, the MIR1, leaves the muscles. The muscles are depleted of MIR1, and that allows the muscles to produce new muscle tissue. So that's been known for a while. What they didn't know was what happens to the rest of the body, because that MIR1 doesn't get metabolized. It doesn't vanish because it gets burned up. It just leaves the muscles and floods through the bloodstream into the rest of our body. So what is the impact it has? And it appears that most of it ends up being concentrated in fat cells. And over this short window of time, this few hours or a day after exercise, and they had no idea what it does in the fat cells. Well, it turns out what it does is, this is quoting from an article about this. Soon after, some of the genes in the fat cells went into overdrive. These genes help direct the breakdown of fat into fatty acids, which other cells can use as fuel, reducing fat stores. And it seems like this is the relationship between muscles and fat, because, muscles need energy, and they don't just get it from glycogen, from the sugars in our sugar in our body and being released from the liver and things like that. They can also use fat cells as an energy source. Well, how does that? MIR1 leaving the muscles goes into the fat cells and says, hey, convert yourself into fatty acids that the muscles can use as an energy source. And the bottom line of all this is that exercise, and this is the thing that they found, in fact, the headline in the New York Times article about this by Gretchen Reynolds is titled, "Lifting Weights, Your Fat Cells Would Like to Have a Word." The bottom line of this is that when we do exercise that actually uses our muscles and builds our muscles, that makes our muscles tired, right? Where you can actually feel the kind of ache in your muscle from really having exercise, like lifting weights, even a little 5-pound dumbbell, just sitting there and doing it until your arms hurt. Or squats or whatever it may be, to the point where your muscles are going, whew, we're tired. That means that they have exhausted the MIR1. It's gotten into the fat cells, and what that does is it causes people to start losing fat. Now, that doesn't mean that they necessarily immediately lose weight, because some of that gets converted into new muscle, but it's contouring and changing the nature of our bodies, making our bodies more muscular and less fatty, which is presumably a really good thing. So, thought you'd want to know. Thanks again for supporting our program.